Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another of my misunderstood movie reviews. Now the movie I have chosen today could have either gone on my classic films or my misunderstood movies, and I've decided to put it in this category, and I shall explain why. And it is 1989's The Abyss, a film that is written and directed by James Cameron, and it stars Ed Harris, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Michael Biehn, Todd Graff, J.C. Quinn, and Kimberly Scott. Now, this film, I think, is severely misunderstood by many. Now, when it came out, I remember when it came out at the time, it was considered a flop. I mean, it was a massively expensive film to make, and it barely really made any money back, if at all. And it was considered, James Cameron was really riding high at this time in his career, to be something of a misfire, and he's come back with Terminator 2 really put him back on top. But I think if he'd have followed this film up with another commercial failure, his career could have turned out very differently. Now, I personally think, in regards to James Cameron's filmography, and he's made a lot of great films, I think this is really high up on the list, and it is overlooked by many people, this film. Mainly because it's, when you look through James Cameron's filmography as a director, people will look at The Abyss and they've either A, not seen it, or B, don't know that much about it, or C, we're a bit, it's an excellent film, and I think it is easily one of his best. And this film focuses on a group of underwater drillers. Basically, they're in an experimental rig that is based underwater, and they are drilling, and they are asked to assist in a rescue operation of a submarine that has gone down about 30 miles from their position. So they all agree to it because they're going to get big bonuses. A SEAL team is sent down to assist them, and they then are on their way to see if they can help find this lost submarine and search for any survivors. However, when they get there, it seems that things are not exactly as they seem, and it seems like they are certainly not alone underneath this water. The rig is then severely damaged, and they've got to try and stay alive and survive until a huge storm above them dissipates, and hopefully they can be rescued themselves. So that's kind of the gist that we get here. Now, this is an infamous film in a lot of ways because James Cameron at the time, and probably still now, I mean, he might have chilled a bit, really cracked the whip on sets, and he was a real taskmaster. And for many years, many of the actors would not talk about their experiences on this film. And I think Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio in particular struggled afterwards with this film because it really mentally scarred her. Ed Harris commented saying that it was the most difficult shoot he's ever done for many different reasons. So it was an infamous shoot, really, and a lot of that was down to James Cameron and his insistence on the underwater shooting. Most of it that you see underwater in this film was filmed underwater. So it's got this real air of authenticity when you watch this film, and it still stands up today, I think, in the way it's shot. It's beautifully shot, and the story itself, I think, carries this film forward. Now, after watching this recently to prepare for this review, it's a few years since I've seen this film, there are aspects of this film that are certainly dated. The effects, I mean, James Cameron experimented with the effects that he went on to perfect in Terminator 2 for the T-1000. You can see the experimental stage of it in this film, and there's some plasticky looking effects near the end in regards to the aliens. And the only other real weakness I can throw at this film is the ending feels a little bit tacked on or rushed, especially the storyline, spoilers, where the NTIs, as they call them, which are essentially UFOs that are living under this sea, kind of threaten humanity. It just seems a little bit tacked on. They appear as friendly, and then they could potentially wipe out everyone on the face of the earth. There's no way that humanity would accept that, and they would, after the end of the film. They would have wiped them out, humanity, probably. So I wasn't really keen on that aspect of the film, and still aren't now today. But the rest of it, the human drama that is developed in this film between these characters that are really well written and really well performed by everybody. Ed Harris is a powerhouse in this film. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who plays this hard-faced woman, really strong woman, is excellent in this film. Michael Biehn is brilliant as the villain in this film. And so these dynamics between the characters all really work and all really flesh out this really good film. The air of tension that is built in this film is excellent, especially when things start going wrong on the rig, when they've got to kind of stay alive. You feel a sense of urgency to make the rig safe, to stay alive, and consequently as well, there's some great scenes in this film, especially when they've got to try and stop Michael Biehn from sending this nuke down to these NTIs. And there's these great confrontation scenes between Michael Biehn and some of the characters, and a great fight scene. And also there's a fantastic scene between Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, where they've essentially got to try and revive her after pretty much drowning. That is really gripping and really intense, and you can see that James Cameron just pushed and pushed and pushed for the right takes in those scenes, especially this scene, and a lot of the scenes on this film you can see probably just kept pushing and kept pushing because of the pressure that these people would have been under in this scenario. He was obviously not happy with the no K take. He just pushed them to the limits, and that's clear and that's obvious from the stories that came out after the film was released. So for those of you out there who have never ever watched The Abyss, for whatever reason, you definitely need to check it out. It's a fantastic film. It still stands up for the most part today. It looks fantastic, it feels authentic, and I think it's a great film in James Cameron's catalogue that I think is unfairly overlooked, and I think it is certainly a misunderstood movie. So that is my review, misunderstood movie review for The Abyss. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful, and I hope if you haven't seen The Abyss, it's made you want to watch The Abyss. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you back for more reviews on Screen Stars very soon.